Hey everyone, it's Michael GoosebumpsFan. I have a regular Goosebumps book review to do for you today. I'm sorry it's taking so long for me to finally get these book reviews out. I get out of work and I hang out at night since I work second shift and I just get bored and don't really want to read sometimes. So forgive me for that. I'm trying to do better about that this month with it being November and I'm not filled to the brim with Halloween books to review and stuff like I was talking about during October. But I think it's well worth it because today's review is going to be for the first ever time that I've read a SlappyWorld book. That is the first book, number 1, from Goosebumps SlappyWorld, Slappy Birthday to You by R.L. Stine. This was actually really good. I actually really like this a lot. It feels a lot like the old classic dummy stories, like Night of the Living Dummy 1, 2, and 3 from the old classic 62-book 90s era. This is really cool. I enjoyed this a lot. Of course, I wanted to wait until now in November because this week is my birthday. Actually, tomorrow, November 7th, is my birthday. So I wanted to do a kind of Goosebumps birthday book review this week. This book and another book that I have from the Give Yourself Goosebumps series. Just because I wanted to just celebrate November that way a little bit. But I also want to kind of take the month of November and talk about just books in general that I want to read and want to talk about, whether it be Goosebumps or otherwise. One particular book that I'm really excited to talk about once I get to read it and see if it's any good or not. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Goosebumps SlappyWorld, Slappy Birthday to You. Is it good? I think I've already made it clear. I like the book a lot. I think it's a very fun book. I think it feels a lot like those 90s books, especially very much like the first book, honestly. It has a little bit of the elements of the third book thrown into it at the end. This book was so different. I'm not used to how this series is written either. I thought it was pretty cool what they're doing here. The reason this series is called SlappyWorld is essentially because Slappy right now in this series is going to be kind of like the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt, where he introduces the stories every once in a while. He'll kind of interrupt the stories and tell you a little bit of information that you don't know. For example, there's a flashback sequence in here, but we'll get there in a moment too. There's a lot of focus on Slappy being kind of a Tales from the Crypt Keeper kind of narrator, and it's kind of cool. I actually like it a lot. I think this is one of the best Slappy books. I think he is so funny here. One of his funniest jokes is in this book involving the nosebleed. For anybody who hasn't read the book, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I think the people who have probably laughed, just like how I did. I thought it was great. You could honestly take this and just film it and make it into Goosebumps 3 if you wanted to. You really could, even though there's no like magical book or anything. But anyway, getting to the actual story, of course you can tell this is a birthday themed book, very much like how we have a Bride of the Living Dummy wedding themed book. You have Revenge, where it's like the Horrorland stuff. Then you have Slappy New Year, where it's New Year themed. You know, you have all kinds of stuff but a Christmas book yet for Slappy, which I really hope we get. Just give us one, R.L. Stine, just one Christmas Slappy book. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. There's a boy named Ian. He is going to turn 12 on his birthday. And his father actually gives him a present for his birthday that's a ventriloquist dummy that he'd been looking at for a long time. His dad thinks that after 3 years since his son has had this interest in these things, which is weird because that's around the time I got into Goosebumps and got introduced into ventriloquist dummies and got really into it. For example, I have that one back there of Slappy himself. So it was weird to me, that kind of weird correlation that I have with my own life in this book. But about 9 years old, the young boy was taken to a museum, which we also get a flashback sequence telling us all these events about how the father took the main character, Ian, when he was 9 years old to his old birthday party 3 years ago, out to this doll museum, which also happened to have ventriloquist dummies and stuff inside of it. And it was really creepy. It's such a really good scene. I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the book. But when we get back to the main story about the birthday party thing, you also have these two cousins, Vinny and Johnny, who suck. They're awful people. They're so just mean-spirited, spoiled, rotten brat kids who will do anything they can to torture the main character, Ian, and his sister, Molly. And of course, the dad and mom just wanted to do something special about giving Ian this ventriloquist dummy that he's wanted for so long. And of course, at one point, one of the dumb cousins happens to find the card that always brings Slappy to life in these books. And you can kind of understand where I'm going with this. If you've read any Night of the Living Dummy book at all, any Slappy books at all, you probably already know what's going to happen. However, the whole narration thing that I talked about with Slappy narrating the book is really interesting. It's not that the whole book is written like that, but those parts of the book where Slappy interrupts and talks to you are very fascinating. They actually bring a really cool plot twist into the book about a little over halfway through, I would say. That was kind of interesting in my opinion. It kind of changed the whole feeling of the book. and really changed this big twist in there that kind of changed the way the rest of the story was told compared to what most of the dummy books are like. And they're all typically similar. This one's relatively similar itself, but like I said, it also has elements of like the third book from the old Night of the Living Dummy 3-book series and whatnot. There's some really cool things in here that I find really enjoyable. Would I say it's in my like top 5 dummy books? Possibly. I need to go over all the books and look at them, just general summaries of those books again before I ever make a list for Slappy books at any point in the future. But it's very possible this could be in my top 5. This is a good one. This is a really, really good one that I enjoyed tremendously. I don't want to spoil anything for you, of course, but I do recommend the book. I do think that if you want to check out any of the SlappyWorld books, this is apparently, I would say, one of the best places to start with the series, even though there's a lot of dummy books out there. There's a lot of Slappy books in general out there, and this is one of the newer ones from the last couple of years. And it's good. It's good. It's just as good as all the old ones from back in the day, I would say. If you liked old Night of the Living Dummy stuff, you'll like this too. That's the best way to possibly put it. I don't really have much more to say about it. I really like that addition of the SlappyWorld narration stuff with Slappy being kind of like the Crypt Keeper thing. I know I keep bringing that up, but I'm just really interested in that to see what he does, even in the books in the SlappyWorld series that are not focused on a Slappy-themed book. Like the next book, number 2, is called Attack of the Jack. It's like a pirate type thing. I'm curious to see what Slappy does as a narrator there, since it's not, as far as I know, focused on him at all. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. But anyway, when it comes to Goosebumps SlappyWorld, the first SlappyWorld book I've talked about here on the channel, and the first one I've read at all, period. Slappy birthday to you. What do you guys think about it? Put your thoughts and comments down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you have to say about it. If I had to rate this book on a 5-star basis, it really is good. It's really satisfying for anybody who's a big Slappy book fan in general. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's not amazing, but it's good. It's definitely a really good one. What are your thoughts on this one? Put them down below. Like I said, I'd love to hear everything everybody has to say. I'd love to hear your thoughts on my review, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, or anything like that. Thank you for watching, guys. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you guys today. Thanksgiving's coming up. Be ready for that. Be thankful for that. God bless you. Goodbye.